Welcome to the Growth Mindset Book Podcast, Mindset Mastery chapter by chapter. I'm Michael Fox, best-selling author and expert mindset coach, and your guide on this transformative journey. Here, we don't just skim pages of the most powerful self-help and mindset books ever written. We dive deep, sometimes just a few paragraphs at a time, to truly understand and apply their life-changing principles. Each episode builds on the last, so if this is your first time here, I encourage you to start episode 1 of season 1 and follow along as we explore every corner of these timeless works. Together, we'll study, reflect, and unlock the tools you need to master your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create the life you've always imagined. So grab your book, a notebook, or just a favorite drink, and let's dive into today's insights. Your journey to transformation starts now. We're back for podcast episode number 16. Again, we're today going to continue where we left off last week on page 38. Power of the Subconscious Mind is the book. And let's jump in. So we're up to number 6. Number 6 says, watch what you say. You have to account for every idle word. Never say, I will fail, I will lose my job, I can't pay the rent. Your subconscious mind cannot take a joke. It brings all these things to pass. Now, when you hear that, what do you think for yourself? Do you think that's true? If you say something negative, that you will bring that into being? Let's talk about a few different examples. How about this? I went to a conference and I saw a man there, and the man says, hi, my name's Joe. And I said, hey, Joe, I'm Mike. And he says, I'm so bad at remembering names. Now, if he says that over and over, I'm so bad at remembering names, and I can imagine that I'm not the only one that he's ever said that to, that he's bad at remembering names. If he says that over and over, what do you think the chances are that he will remember names in the future? It'll be terrible, because the subconscious mind, it doesn't care whatever you give it, but whatever you give it, it will respond to. So if that man is saying over and over that I have trouble remembering names, the subconscious mind says, oh, next time I hear a name, I'll be sure to have trouble remembering that name. How about this example? How about someone that I know that's an actress, and every time we ask her, how are you doing? Her response is, I'll probably always be a struggling artist. If she keeps telling that to herself, what's her experience in the real world going to be? Now, here's the question. What would she be better off saying rather than, I'll probably always be a struggling artist? What if instead she said this? Each day that I live, I get more experience, I get better and better at acting, my confidence increases, and I'm getting that much closer to getting that big role that I've always wanted to get. Now, which would she be better off saying on a consistent basis? I'll probably always be a struggling artist, or I keep getting better and better on a daily basis, and I'm that much closer to getting that role that I've always wanted. It's funny, as I was recording this, I saw a text message pop up from a prospect that was considering joining the program. And the line that he delivered to me was, I don't see myself being able to commit to doing this at this moment. Now, think about those words. If he's saying, I don't see myself being able to commit to this, and he's planting that into his subconscious mind, would he ever have the time to be able to commit to it? What could he say instead? I'll find the time, because this is important, because there are things inside of me that if I work through them, it will get me to the other side, and I'll have more peace and happiness in my life. Now, if he delivered that to his subconscious mind, what do you think his result will be? So the reason I'm giving so many different examples is because our words are extremely powerful. Our words create. God said, let there be light. Whether you believe in the story of the Bible or not, it doesn't matter. But in the Bible, it says, God said, let there be light. In other words, he spoke the world into existence. We speak our lives into existence. If you just pay attention on a consistent basis to the words that are coming out of your mouth, someone asks you a question, listen to how you respond. Someone asks you, how are you feeling today? And you say, I feel okay, or I'm really tired today. That may be true. You may be feeling that way at the moment. But if you keep planting that seed in your subconscious mind, do you think suddenly throughout the day you're going to get more energy? No, because the more often you say that out loud, the more you're creating your environment. It's as if you have the magic genie and the genie pops out and asks, what's your wish? Tell me what you want. Whatever you speak to, the genie will give you. The genie is all around us. The genie is this higher power. The genie is God, divine, universe. Whatever we tell it on a consistent basis, it just says, your wish is my command. And that's exactly what you end up getting. You get what you ask for. You get what you speak about. So if over this next period of time, you can just start to pay attention to those words that are coming out of your mouth, you'll notice that it's probably very much in alignment with what your real life experience is. And in order to change that real life experience, the only thing that you need to do is to start shifting what you're saying. Again, it doesn't matter if you really believe the words initially. Belief comes from saying something over and over. A criminal can become a criminal by saying something about crime over and over, even though initially they hated crime and they would say to themselves, I would never commit a crime. But if you keep planting the seed of, I am a criminal, I am a criminal, I am a criminal, and if you say it enough, there will be a point in time where your subconscious mind will deliver that to you and you will start committing crimes. Our words are powerful. Our subconscious mind is even more powerful because our subconscious mind is the peace of God. It's the peace of God that gives us everything that we ask for. So you have all the power. There's no one else that has the power. You do. And whatever you speak, that's what you're going to end up finding in the real world. So start again practicing speaking about the things that you want as if you already have them. In fact, if you can speak it in present tense, that's even better. So if you want to earn more money, instead of saying, I want to earn more money, say it in present tense, I am earning more money. If you want to be in a successful relationship, don't say, I want to be in a successful relationship. Say, I am in a successful relationship. And even if you're not, if you say, I am in a successful relationship and you say it enough, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to be in a successful relationship because you're speaking it into existence. Our words are extremely powerful. Your words are extremely powerful. Pay attention to those words that you're using today. Pay attention to the things that you say when you go into work or when you're meeting with clients, when you're talking to people, friends and family. Listen to the words that you're saying and listen to the words that they're saying. Are they speaking words that are going to support them in having the things that they want in their life? Are you speaking the words that are going to support you in having more of what you want in your life? If not, then maybe it's time to start practicing. What if someone isn't feeling well? Someone's sick. Someone isn't doing well. They're in the hospital. Maybe they have cancer. The family members going around telling everyone, oh yeah, Joe has cancer. It's really tough. He's getting chemo. He's getting really sick. What is the best thing that person can say in a situation like that? The more seeds that are planted that he's doing bad, he's struggling with chemotherapy, I guarantee you that person's going to struggle even more. We have the ability to plant seeds of Joe has cancer, but each day he's doing the best that he can. He's eating healthier. He's working at getting healthier and getting better. And we're sending prayers and love to his family and to himself so that he keeps getting better and better on a daily basis. Now, if we speak those words, what's the likelihood, again, if we're planting those seeds in the garden, what's the likelihood that he'll start getting better if we're planting the seeds of blessing and love and prayer in the garden? There's a lot better likelihood because, again, we're planting it into the divine, into the universe, into God, and then God works miracles. Here's a miracle. There was a doctor. This is a true story. I just saw a documentary on Netflix, not Netflix, on YouTube. It was unbelievable. This doctor ends up dying. He has a heart attack and he ends up dying, and he dies for an hour and 20 minutes. Now, they had been doing CPR. They shocked him. I think they shocked him a total of 13 times. He was got to a point where he's completely flatlined, dead. And they were still working and doing CPR because they were waiting for his wife to come back, but there was literally no brain activity, and there was a flat line, which means that his brain was dying at that point. It had been an hour and 20 minutes. The woman says, his wife calls up her father and tells her father and says, "What should I do, Dad?" And she was also a doctor. Her father says, "Say a prayer." And she's thinking, what do you mean say a prayer? What's that going to do? So they actually call it. He's now dead. They pronounce him dead. She's by his bedside. She comes in. They say your goodbyes. Again, we already pronounced him dead. She goes to his bedside and she starts praying and says, "God, please, I'm only 39 and my husband's 39 and we have a son and I just can't live life without him. Can you please just work a miracle?" And in that moment that she said that prayer, they got a heartbeat on the monitor, and the heartbeat continued, and they started working on him. They got him to a hospital. And within 5 days from the time that he was dead for an hour and 20 minutes, he was back. He finally opened his eyes. They took the tube out of his throat, and he was out of the hospital within a few days after that, which is a complete miracle because remember, these were all doctors, including the person who had the heart attack, and they were all saying the same thing. They're looking at all the test results. They're looking at the brain waves. They're looking at the heart monitor. And there is no way, they said, there's no way that a person in the state that he was in comes back from this. And if they ultimately do come back, they're most of the time brain dead because their brain had been dead for so long. However, she spoke words out there. She spoke prayers, and there was no thought that there was even a possibility that this guy could come back. And yet he did. And he came back. So our words have so much power, and you have a choice every single moment. And your choice is, what do I choose to speak into existence? Am I choosing words that are exactly what I want to have in my life? Or am I choosing the words that are the opposite, the things that I don't want to have in my life? And if you get into the habit of doing the former, which is planting the words that you do want in your life, you will start to get more of what you want in your life, period. And if you can't find words to speak, then speak gratitude. Speak gratitude for all the things that you currently have in your life. I am grateful that I have my health. I am grateful that I have family. I am grateful that I drove today to the store and I made it there without any incident, and I'm healthy and I got back without any incident. I'm grateful that my son is in college and he's enjoying himself. And we just go on and on with gratitude. Gratitude is planting seeds of positivity. It's reinforcing our belief that there's a ton of good in this world. And the more we speak it, the more we're going to see it in our reality. Does this make sense? Excellent. Let's move on to the next one. Your mind is not evil. No force of nature is evil. It depends on how you use the powers of nature. Use your mind to bless, heal, and inspire all people everywhere. I love this. So this isn't just about speaking words about ourselves, right? I'm creating my own reality. Let's create the reality of other people by speaking words of belief into them. So if someone says to me, no matter what, I just can't make money, then I have the option and opportunity to speak words for him. I could say instead, I really am sending a blessing to you right now so that you have abundance, happiness, and peace in your life. And it is just going to get easier and easier for you to get all the things that you want in your life. While in the past it may have been a struggle, that struggle is now over. And I speak the words for that person. And every time I see that person, what do? I speak those words again. I say, how are you doing? Still a bit of a struggle. Okay. It's getting better and better every single time that you wake up in the morning. Every moment that passes, things keep getting better for you. And if you say that enough to that person, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think maybe you'll start to form a belief in them if you say it enough to them? Isn't that how all the programs that we currently have, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, isn't that all how it got programmed into us? It got programmed because someone decided to speak those words into us and we accepted them. Why don't we plant seeds that are really positive into those people and let them accept those words so that their reality starts to shift and so that they have belief in themselves? I cannot tell you how many clients that I've spoken to where they don't have belief in themselves. And I say something like the following. I send them a text message and I say, something wonderful is going to happen today. Let me know what it is when it happens. Do you know that every single time I send that text message, I get a response back at some point during the day saying, I can't believe it, this happened. And then I always respond back, I can believe it. Because he said, I can't believe it happened. No, you can believe it because something wonderful can happen to you every single day of your life. It can if you believe it can, but you have to have the belief, and the belief happens through repetition. And we can be the repetition not only for ourselves by repeating these words, but we can be the repetition for other people who don't even know how to do this. Let's go on to the next one. Never say I can't. Never say I can't. How many times have you said, I can't make more money? I can't have a better relationship. I can't, I can't, I can't. When you say it, you are programming your subconscious mind to believe that you can't do whatever it is that you're saying and you can't have whatever it is that you're saying. You're the one responsible. When you look in the mirror, you can thank yourself because of the words that have come out of your mouth. It says further, overcome that fear by substituting the following. I can do all things through the power of my own subconscious mind. What does that really mean? I can do all things through the power of God, divine, universal intelligence, because the subconscious mind, remember, is the thing that's running our entire show, causing our heart to beat, causing us to blink our eyes, causing us to breathe, causing our cells to operate. That is the part of God that is within us. If you can explain to me how this is all happening, think to yourself, there isn't a higher power involved in the process. I really find it difficult to believe that's the case. If you say to yourself, I can do all things through the power of my own subconscious mind, I can do all things through the power of my own subconscious mind, and you keep repeating that, what do you think will begin to happen in your life? You will start to believe that your subconscious mind, whatever you plant in it, it will start to deliver it to you. And you don't have to know the how, you don't have to know when, you don't have to know why. You just need to know that if I plant the words and I speak them into existence and I plant those seeds in my garden, that over time, they will yield a crop of what it is that I want. Hey there. I hope you're loving today's episode of the Growth Mindset Book Podcast. If this show has been inspiring you or bringing value to your life, I'd love your support to keep it going strong. You can buy me a cup of coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Michael Fox Coach. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Michael Fox Coach. Your support helps cover production costs and lets me keep sharing this incredible journey with you. Thanks for being a part of the community. And now let's get back to the episode. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 says, begin to think from the standpoint of truths and principles of life, and not from the standpoint of fear, ignorance, and superstition. Do not let others do your thinking for you. Choose your own thoughts and make your own decisions. I want to read this again, and let's listen to this, and we're going to break it down. Begin to think from the standpoint of truths and principles of life. So the truth and principle of life is that our subconscious mind will deliver to us whatever we plant in it on a consistent basis. That is a principle in life. That is something that we can believe to be the truth. The way that you can believe it to be the truth is think of the negative things you've experienced in your life, the bad relationship, the struggle with weight, the fear of failure, whatever it may be. The only thing that led to that was your thoughts and the words that came out of your mouth. I've tried to lose weight so many times, it's impossible. I fail at everything I try. I'm such a failure. I can't do this. I can't. The words that we speak are creating our reality. We proved it in the negative. So here's the beautiful thing. We know it works. We've proved it. It works in the negative. So just start using it in the positive. And when you do that, you're going to start to realize that you're going to have more and more of the things that you want in your life because you're using this power, but you're using it not in a habitual negative way, which is how we used to do it. We're using it in a habitual positive way now, by choosing the words that we want. Now, let's move on to where it says, do not let others do your thinking for you. Do not let others do your thinking for you. How many times do you go and consistently ask other people for advice that shouldn't be giving you advice? You're in a relationship, you're having a struggle, you go and speak to a friend who is not in a good relationship either, and you're getting advice from that person. They're starting to program you about your own relationship, about relationships in general. Guys are this, women are that. They're creating a spoken word and it's being planted into your subconscious mind. Are you going to allow that? Why in the world would we want to go and speak to someone who's not in a great relationship and have them plant the seeds into our subconscious mind? Why would we want to let them speak the words into our subconscious mind? We've got to protect that garden. We don't want anyone planting any of their seeds in there unless they're really good seeds. But again, we sometimes choose the wrong people to get advice from. In fact, the only people we should ever ask for advice, again, are people that are already getting the results that we want in life. If they're getting the result that we want, then maybe we can go and ask them. But most of the people that we ask for advice are not people that are getting the results that we want. They're either struggling in a relationship, they're also overweight. You ever see two overweight people commiserating and speaking negatively together? This is impossible. Every time I try it, I can't do it. That's not a good person to talk to because that person that you're speaking to who is also overweight, are they going to start planting seeds of belief? Or are they going to start planting seeds of this will never work? We're going to remain overweight forever and ever. This is how it works. And the beauty is you have the ability to change it. You have the ability to plant the seeds that you want. You have the ability to choose who am I going to allow to come anywhere near my garden. If that person has got negative seeds, don't let them anywhere near your garden. You don't want them telling you anything because that's planting seeds in your garden. And we do not want that to get in there, because if it does, the subconscious mind will take over. God will say, your wish is my command. You're right. It's impossible for you to lose weight. And you will continue to eat the foods and not exercise and do all the other things that are in support of you staying overweight. Does this make sense? Good. All right. Let's go on to number 10. 10 says, you are the captain of your soul. What does that mean? You're the captain of your subconscious mind, your soul, and the master of your fate. You're listening to this right now. Your life is the way it is because of your thinking and the words that you speak. The great news is you can change that by changing the words you speak and changing your thought process. If you just change those two things, everything else will change. Everything else will change. And if you don't believe me, try to prove me wrong. The only way you can prove me wrong is by speaking positively over and over and then showing me how it's not going to work. But the problem is, if you say to me, this isn't working, you've just proven that you're planting negative seeds in that garden again. So you can't come to me and say this isn't working because you haven't given it enough time. You have to keep planting the positive words and the positive thoughts over and over until you get to a place where things will shift, and they will shift. Why do I say this? Because it shifted in my life. It has shifted in my clients' lives. It has shifted in my family's life, because if you practice it, it works. The problem is some people don't practice, but you're not one of them. You're someone who hears this message and says to themselves, I'm doing this, period, the end. And while maybe in the past I haven't kept my word, or I haven't been able to do the things that I wanted to do, from this day on, everything that I say I am going to do, I keep my word and I commit to doing them. That's the new seed that I'm planting in for you. So accept that and allow that into your subconscious mind. And if that thought comes up and says, oh, I don't believe what he's saying, reject it. Say, no, you're not welcome here anymore. Go into the garden of trash and stay there. We'll put your seeds in that trash garden. I don't want that in my garden. I want a garden filled with happiness and peace and love and belief and all the things that I want in my life. That's what I want. And it says, remember, you have the capacity to choose. You listening right now, you have the ability to choose. You can choose to speak words of positive kindness, love, happiness, success. You can choose those words, or you can also choose negative. You can choose to be negative and speak words of negativity and speak words of lack and speak words of anxiety and speak words of depression. But we don't do that anymore because we're choosing, and we're choosing life. We're choosing love. We're choosing health. We're choosing happiness. That is a choice that you have on a daily basis. You have a choice every single day to live from a place of love, happiness, and peace. And that's what you're choosing to do from now on. I'm planting that seed in you right now. You choose to live a life of love, health, happiness, and peace. You choose to live a life of happiness, health, and peace. You choose to live a life of gratitude. You choose to live a life of sharing your love and happiness and kindness with others around you. And when you do that consistently, your life will completely change. And if you don't believe me, try it. But you can't just try it. You got to do it. So go do it. And I know you're listening right now, and I'm telling you right now, you are successful. You've got this. All you got to do is just practice it a little bit more. Just keep practicing. You're doing a great job. Even if you make a mistake, even if you say, oh my gosh, I've been negative the last hour. Great. I've been negative the last hour. Now I'm turning. And from this moment on, I'm being positive. And when you realize you go to negative again, what do? You don't give up. You say to yourself, oh, there I go again. I went to the negative. Now I'm coming back to the positive. You have the capacity to choose. Choose life, choose love, choose health, choose happiness. To wrap it up, we're going to go to the last point here. And it says, whatever your conscious mind assumes, your conscious mind is your thinking mind. Your thinking mind is all those thoughts that go on in your head. And you have the ability to choose what thoughts you're going to have. You can choose to have negative thoughts, You could choose to have positive thoughts. It says, whatever your conscious mind assumes and believes to be true, your subconscious mind will accept and bring to pass. So whatever you're constantly spinning in your mind, whether it's I'll never lose the weight or each day I'm releasing weight, right? You have a choice between the two. Whichever one you choose and plant, you will believe to be true. You're the one who's responsible. You're the one who has the power. And so, knowing that we have this power, we're choosing as we move forward to choose words of support, love, kindness. Do you ever think to yourself, I really wish I had someone in my life that just believed in me? You do. You believe in you. And if you just tell yourself, I believe in myself every day, my belief in myself grows and gets stronger and stronger. There's only one person that you need to believe in yourself, not your spouse, not your friends, not your family, the person that looks at you in the mirror. You're the one who has to be that person. You have to love yourself. You're not going to find love out there in the external world. You may have a spouse that supports you and that loves you, but the love that you have for yourself is never going to be stronger anywhere else. You must love yourself. And how do you do that? You look in the mirror and you say to yourself, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. There is a book I read. I can't remember the name of it, but again, there was a guy struggling with depression. And all he decided to do, rather than laying in bed and dealing with his depression, the only thing he did was he said, I love myself. I love myself. He said it out loud. He was sitting by himself. He figured, I'm better off saying I love myself than all the other negative crap that's going on in my head. He sat there and said to himself, I love myself. I love myself. He said, I must have said it 560,000 times at minimum, because he just kept saying, when he get into the shower, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. When he was sitting down, I love myself. I love myself. When he would go for a walk, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. What do you think ended up happening to that guy? He ended up writing a book about it because his depression completely went away. Now, did he do anything different other than speaking new words and having different thoughts? His new thought was one, I love myself. The new word that he spoke was, I love myself. And through doing that consistently and not giving up, and maybe he realized, oh, I stopped saying it. And then he just went back to saying it. And then when he stopped, he went back to saying it. And then when he stopped, he went back to saying it. But he didn't give up. He kept doing it over and over. His life completely transformed. Why? Because our subconscious mind will deliver to us whatever it is that we choose to believe inside. And if we choose to believe and speak words of positivity to ourselves and others, our life and the lives of others will begin to change. And that's the power that we have. So I just want to reiterate this one last time. You, the person that's listening to this at the gym, the person that's listening in the car, the person that's listening in their bed, the person that's listening wherever you are, you're hearing this for a reason and purpose. And the reason and purpose is so that you will finally say to yourself, enough is enough. It is time for me to start treating myself and listening and speaking words of love, kindness, and support to myself. Because when I do that, my entire life will change. All you must do is say, I love myself. Thank you, God, for all the things that I have in my life. And if you speak those words on a consistent basis, your life changes, period, the end. You want more peace, you want more happiness, you want more love, you want more kindness, you want more of that in your life. Speak words of love, speak words of kindness, speak words of peace, speak words of happiness. And I promise you, your life will completely change. If you got value from this podcast today, what I would like you to do, because this is a powerful one, send it to someone who needs to hear this message. Send them this episode and tell them, I really believe that you will benefit significantly from listening to this one podcast. And by the way, I'm saying that to you right now. You are benefiting from this, and I would listen to this one over and over because this is a powerful one. because you are the powerful one. You have all the power and all the ability to have whatever it is you want in your life. All you have to do is believe it. Belief comes from saying the same thing over and over. Keep telling yourself all these positive things and watch your life change. Can you tell I'm a little bit passionate about this? Listen, I love you all. I just want to also mention this one last thing. If you go on to Audible or if you go on to Kindle and you search Michael Fox, you're going to see a bunch of things from Michael J. Fox, but then you'll see a number of books that are out there now. But the beautiful thing that I wanted to share was not the books itself, but there's now an Audible version of the books. So you can listen to the books too while you're at the gym or while you're driving. And they're really powerful. I listen to them all the time and I read them all the time. Why? Because when I'm reading them, the words are going into my subconscious mind and they're all words of positivity, love, and creating the things that we want in our life. So I'm going to leave you on this. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're strong. You are love. You are the best person. The love of yourself is absolutely incredible. Just keep believing in that love in yourself and the support. Be your best friend. Be the one that always has a positive word to say for yourself. Because if you are that person, you honestly would never need to have anyone else in your life because you're going to have all the power from within. And then you can share that power with another person that has power. And then when you're in a relationship, that isn't you complete me. That is I complete me. She completes herself. And together we support and love each other. And that's a very different relationship to be in than a relationship of I need to get my love, happiness, and peace from someone else. If you're trying to do that, it will never happen because there's only one person you need it from, and it's the person that looks at you in the mirror. I love you. I wish you all the best, and I will see you next week. I hope today's episode inspired you to take one step closer to mastering your mindset. If you're ready to dive deeper, visit michaelfoxcoach.com. Again, that's michaelfoxcoach.com for more resources, insights, and ways to connect. While you're there, don't forget to join our free community shown at the bottom of the website and connect with others who are on the same growth journey. Let's keep growing together, and I'll see you on the next episode.